Now, when you plan a wedding, you tend to think about the guest list, the dress, obviously, the flower arrangements, the food, the music. There's an overwhelming list of things to consider, in fact. But one couple in Perth is considering something that doesn't appear on the usual list of decisions to make. They're trying to have a carbon-neutral wedding, and the bride, Nicola Rozak, joins me on Drive this afternoon. Hello, Nicola.
Hello, how are you?
Really well, thanks. What does planning a carbon-neutral wedding entail?
Well, it is quite of a nightmare at times. There is quite a bit that is involved in planning a wedding that you intend to be carbon neutral. There's so many aspects from, the venue, to the transportation, to the waste management, and calculating all the emissions that you'll produce in this wedding from food mileage through to the guests coming there at the venue.
It's incredible, isn't it? But if you can make some of those big decisions in a sort of a carbon-friendly fashion, that would make the life a lot easier. I mean, have you been able to find a venue and a way of serving food, for example, that doesn't leave such a footprint behind?
Well, yeah, when we were looking at venues, basically we chose the venue to have it at my parents' place at home. And the reason for that is that we are going to be married in a church that's, 600 metres away. So no guests will have to, apart from driving to the church, people will just be able to walk down the street and then, continue on with the festivities at my parents' place, which is great. So you don't have to have people, driving around to the next venue after the first venue.
Yeah, big tick for that one.
Yeah, that's it. So everyone's on foot, so low, high heels anyways. The other conscious decisions that we've made is basically with the food. We've asked our caterers to supply all local produce. So we want all our food to be sourced within a 100-kilometre radius of the event. And this can be quite complicated, but it also ensures that you get the freshest produce because you're getting everything that's in season as well, and healthy options. And we're also looking at having a mainly vegetarian menu. So that will also cut down on emissions as well. For our beverages, we're looking at hopefully getting a winery that's local within the Swan Valley to be able to supply us with the beverages for the wedding. And so that's just other things. It's just thinking locally and going direct and not thinking that you need to go bigger and better. You can find good quality local produce. You just have to be a little bit imaginative and reach out and get out your contacts and find things in the local community that you can use.
Has it made the job of organising a wedding, which can turn people into wrecks, has it made it more fun or harder or unbearable? Do you think it's added an extra tax to the effort that you've put in?
I must admit it certainly has, especially when you are the first child and both families to be married. Lots of mother-in-laws and mothers are saying, but you've got to do this and you've got to do that, and what about the cake and this and so forth. So I have had to draw the line, but also my background is in event management. I currently work for Edith Cowan University, so I'm aware of how to organise events. That's my forte. But also I'm conscious of the waste that's involved with events and also the emissions that that you accrue with such events like this. And although it is a special occasion, I think that you do need to be responsible and make conscious decisions about what you do and the effects that it will have long term.
Are you asking guests that are flying in for the event to offset their carbon footprint as well?
Yes, basically, I'm doing much to the devastation of my mother. I said that I'm doing a paperless wedding. So basically, guests will be emailed the invitation. They will then go on and register online through a special website that does paperless weddings, which I've found, which is great. And they can register for the wedding that way. They can then find out other events that are going on throughout the week leading up to the big day. And they'll also be able to calculate how far they are travelling from their place to the venue. They'll also be able to calculate, the size of their motor and the emissions in that process. And as part of our wedding gift, we would like our guests to offset their emissions to and from the venue. So I suppose this is more of an educational process as well for guests who are coming along to find out how much emissions will occur from going from point A to point B to the venue and return.
In a perfect world, Nicola Rozak, you you would fit into your mother's bridal gown. Is that the case?
No, it's not the case. That's actually one aspect. I am having one made, but I do intend to recycle it and hand it over to another bride-to-be if they're fitting. So, yeah, I will be recycling my wedding gown.
Beautiful. It sounds like a lovely idea. Have you found any antagonism from guests that are invited to your wedding, Nicola, or have people been happy to support you?
No, I am anticipating that. I know that there are a few of my parents' friends and so forth who are quite wary of, say, the carbon issue. So I think I will have some guests who will say, what's she on about, or what's she doing, and I have experienced that when some people say, why are you doing a carbon wedding, all that sort of stuff. So I want to make it as friendly possible to just basically educate people, in the processes of just simple decisions as well, from the transportation to and from to, I'm having, when I do organise my flower arrangements, I'm making sure that they're native flowers and they are sourced locally. So yeah, hopefully it'll be an educational experience for guests as well.
That's brilliant. I'm sure all your parents' friends are talking about your father's hippie daughter and what the hell is going on. But perhaps it'll be a fantastic opportunity to change a few people's minds.
Yeah, hopefully so. We're looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to you looking forward to it. Nicola, I wish you all the best.
Thank you very much.
Nicola Rozak's planning a carbon-neutral wedding and was my guest on Drive. It is 19 to 4. Now, when you plan a wedding, you tend to think about the guest list, the dress, obviously, the flower arrangements, the food, the music. There's an overwhelming list of things to consider, in fact.